Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into a huge topic, how artificial intelligence is changing the job market right here in the UK.
It's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. We've gathered some, really interesting research, different perspectives, and we want to figure out what it all means. Is AI taking jobs, making new ones? How is work itself changing?
All crucial questions right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us here on Westferry Times. To help us make sense of it all, we're joined by a real expert.
Happy to be here.
Dr. Tom Whitaker is a labor economist and an AI research fellow at the Center for Digital Futures. I've worked with the UK government, with industry, really digging into automation's impact. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's definitely a vital conversation to be having.
Great. All right, so let's start with the basics. We hear a lot about AI. Sometimes it feels like science fiction, but what's actually happening now? What's the real shift we're seeing in UK jobs?
Well, the key thing is how widespread it's becoming.
Yeah.
It's really moved out of the labs.
Right.
It's being integrated into everyday business operations.
Yeah.
Across loads of different sectors.
Like what specifically?
Oh, everything from how companies hire people, manage customer service, chat bots and things,
Mm.
to optimizing complex logistics, even helping out professionals in law, finance, agriculture. It's a proper structural shift.
So it's not just about robots on assembly lines anymore, that old image.
Exactly. It's much broader. We're seeing jobs themselves being redefined.
Sure.
Workflows are getting optimized because of AI insights.
Okay.
And that means the skills that companies value are changing too. AI is starting to augment decision-making.
Augment. So helping humans, not just replacing.
Precisely. In white-collar fields, think law, journalism, even medicine and education, it's enhancing what people can do alongside automating the more repetitive stuff.
That's a really interesting distinction. So which specific sectors are feeling this disruption most acutely right now in the UK?
Well, if you think about where processing huge amounts of data or automating complex tasks gives a big advantage,
Mm.
financial services really stands out.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, AI is heavily used there for like fraud detection, improving customer support, algorithmic trading. Some UK banks, for instance, are using AI systems that are, frankly, much faster and better at spotting fraud than the old ways.
I can imagine. Loads of data there. Where else?
Transport and logistics is another big one. You've got increasing automation in warehouses,
Right.
AI planning the most efficient delivery routes, even some early trials with autonomous delivery vans in certain places.
Okay.
And then there's administrative and support services. Think about routine clerical tasks,
Yeah.
natural language models, robotic process automation. They're taking on a lot of that work,
Yeah.
which in theory frees up people for more complex stuff.
And is this just happening in, big corporations or elsewhere too?
Oh, no, it's definitely not just the private sector.
Yeah.
The public sector is exploring AI quite actively.
Really? How so?
Well, some local councils are using AI to sort of triage cases in social services, helps them allocate resources better.
Interesting.
The NHS is looking into AI for analyzing medical scans, potentially helping doctors spot things earlier.
Cool.
Even HMRC is using AI to flag potentially suspicious tax returns. It's really quite widespread.
Wow. Okay, so it's touching a lot of areas, which brings us to the big question everyone asks: jobs. Are we looking at mass unemployment?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the honest answer is it's complicated.
It always is.
We are seeing job displacement, no doubt about it, especially in roles with very repetitive, predictable tasks. AI is just very good at those.
Right.
But, and this is crucial, we're also seeing completely new jobs emerging, roles that simply didn't exist before.
Like what kind of roles?
Things like AI trainers, people who literally teach the AI models, data annotators who prepare all the data AI needs to learn, prompt engineers.
Ah, yes, heard about those. Crafting the instructions for AI.
Exactly. And then you have existing roles that are evolving, kind of hybrid roles, needing AI skills alongside traditional expertise.
So it's not a simple subtraction equation, jobs lost versus jobs gained.
Not at all. What's really different this time, compared to, say, the Industrial Revolution, is the speed and scale. It's happening much faster.
Okay.
So while one ONS report estimated, I think, around 1.5 million UK jobs are at high risk of automation.
That sounds like a lot.
It does. But that same analysis suggested that with the right support, the right investment and skills, AI could help create maybe up to 3 million new roles by 2030.
Wow, so potentially a net gain.
Potentially. But It really hinges on how well we adapt, how we prepare the workforce.
Which leads us perfectly on to skills. What kind of abilities are going to be most valuable in this, well, AI-infused job market?
The skill set is definitely shifting.
Mhm.
Basic digital literacy isn't just about using Word or Excel anymore.
Right.
It's more about understanding how these digital systems work, how AI fits in.
Hmm.
Data analysis skills are becoming huge, being able to interpret what the AI is telling you.
Okay, makes sense.
But, and I really want to stress this, the uniquely human skills remain vital, maybe even more vital. Creativity, empathy, ethical judgment, negotiation, complex problem solving, things AI, at least for now, really struggles with. These are areas where humans are still indispensable.
You mentioned hybrid roles earlier. Can you give us a clearer picture? What does that actually look like day to day?
Sure. A hybrid role blends existing professional knowledge with the ability to use AI tools effectively. So imagine a marketing analyst.
Okay.
They might now need really good prompt engineering skills to use AI for generating ad copy or analyzing campaign data much more deeply.
Right, using AI as a tool within your existing job.
Exactly. Or a teacher using AI tools perhaps to help with grading routine assignments. They need to understand how the tool works, how to interpret its output for their students. Collaborating with AI is becoming key.
So this idea of lifelong learning, it's less of a buzzword now and more of a, well, survival strategy.
Absolutely. It's not just desirable anymore, it's fundamental. Given how fast AI is moving, people will have to keep updating their skills throughout their careers just to stay relevant.
Let's shift focus slightly to the wider impact. Is AI affecting all parts of the UK equally, or are there regional differences?
That's a really important point. And unfortunately, no, the impact looks pretty uneven.
How so?
Cities with strong existing tech hubs, London, Manchester, Bristol, they're likely to benefit more from the growth in AI jobs.
Okay.
Whereas coastal towns, more rural areas,
Hmm.
places with fewer tech industries might face a higher risk of job displacement if they don't have the infrastructure or the reskilling opportunities.
So this could actually make existing regional inequalities worse.
Precisely. There's a definite risk of a widening gap, a gap between workers with advanced digital skills and those in manual or lower-wage jobs more easily automated. Without targeted help, AI could deepen those divides.
Is anything being done to try and counter that? Any government initiatives?
Yes, there are things happening. The government's lifelong learning entitlement, for example, and various AI skills boot camps are designed to help people retrain.
Are they working?
Well, the uptake is a bit patchy. It can be hard for small businesses to find the time or money to engage. And sometimes the workers who need it most just aren't aware these opportunities exist. So challenges remain.
Okay. Thinking about the next generation now, young people starting out, how is AI changing their career prospects, the education they might need?
It's fundamentally reshaping career paths. Even professions we thought were rock-solid: law, journalism, coding.
Even coding.
Yeah, AI can write code now, right? So the role of the human coder is changing. It's redefining these fields. And brand new fields are popping up.
Like what?
Things like AI ethics specialists, researchers using AI in synthetic biology. Loads of roles focused on developing and deploying AI responsibly. And the common thread, digital skills are non-negotiable.
Are universities and colleges keeping up? Are they adapting their courses fast enough?
That's a critical point. They are starting to adjust, but AI is moving so incredibly fast, it's a huge challenge for them.
Yeah, I bet.
There's this growing need to see education not just as something you do at the start, get your degree and you're done,
Right.
but as a continuous journey. Lifelong learning needs to be baked in from the start.
It sounds like that traditional model, one job, one company, for 40 years might be fading, especially for younger people.
I think so.
Yeah.
We'll likely see more portfolio careers, people juggling multiple projects, different income streams.
The gig economy.
Yeah, the gig economy, AI-augmented freelancing. That's probably going to grow, especially among younger generations who are maybe more adaptable to that kind of flexibility.
Yeah.
The standard 9 to 5 might become less standard.
Okay, zooming out one last time. Thinking about policy, the big picture, what needs to happen to make sure this AI transition is, positive and fair?
Well, there are risks if we get it wrong. If we don't manage this transition carefully, we could see serious technological unemployment,
Mm-hmm.
widening regional inequality, maybe even social unrest if lots of people feel left behind.
But the flip side.
The flip side, if we manage it well, is potentially huge. Higher productivity, less drudgery in work, more opportunity for people to do genuinely meaningful, creative things.
So what are the key policy levers? What should government and others be focusing on?
Several key areas. First, massive, sustained investment in retraining and adult education. That's non-negotiable.
Okay.
Second, maybe thinking about tax incentives for businesses to adopt AI ethically, responsibly, not just for pure profit.
Right.
Third, targeted support for local economies, helping different regions attract AI industries, not just concentrating them in a few cities.
Addressing that inequality point.
Exactly. And finally, a really strong focus on inclusive AI design, making sure these systems aren't biased, that they don't exclude certain groups. That's crucial.
That's a lot to think about. As we wrap up this fascinating discussion, what's your single biggest piece of advice for our listeners? For anyone feeling a bit worried about their job security in this age of AI?
I'd say try not to see AI purely as a threat. See it as a tool, a potentially incredibly powerful tool. Focus on learning how you can use it, how you can collaborate with it in your specific job, your field, and crucially, double down on those human skills.
The empathy, creativity.
Exactly. Connection, nuanced judgment, ethical thinking, creativity. These are things that make us human, and they are becoming incredibly valuable differentiators. Ultimately, adaptability, the willingness to learn, that's your best bet for job security.
That's really valuable advice. Any final, perhaps hopeful thoughts?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's easy to focus on the anxieties, but we are already seeing really positive examples all across the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Nurses using AI tools to help them triage patients more effectively, apprentices learning vital coding skills through free online courses, counsels using AI to fight fraud better. These examples show the potential when we think about AI in a human-centered way, using technology to empower